Hello. Welcome back. It's been like 3 hours tops, maybe. Yeah. We're gonna keep going. Do I continue? No, I don't, right? Yeah, I should make a new one. Alright, so we're just gonna do as much as we can. But we're gonna start with case 2. Pet Shop. Creatures, the mutated results of Phenomana. Oh, creatures, sorry. They sound like creatures. Like, they're same kind of fucking... What do you call it? Same intonation. An incident occurs at a creature breeding facility. Let's fucking go. That sound. He's dead. He's really dead. How was it you was this piece of filth? I know this day would come. Let's hurry. I can't let them find out I was here. This is all because of you monsters. Whatever, I don't care. After all, it was me who killed him. London, Dartford Road, 1960-something, November 25th, 10:30. Sorry I kept you waiting for some time, yes? Let's hurry back. What did you have to buy? Paper for the office, ink, 5 kilograms of tea leaves. You know, things... Sergeant, because of all these cases files back here, there's already 0 room in the trunk. Oh, you mean the boot? Ah, there's no room back there. That's why we keep all the files on theft and robberies. Sometimes I feel like I might be better switching places with those files. Is it that heavy? I feel like I'm being flattened. It's already been a month since I joined the Man Affairs Division. Because of the Trump Tower case, the others recognized my talents, but since they could solve most cases with their skills, I was given the task of reviewing cases and filling out paperwork. At times I began to question my decisions leading to this point, since that was exactly what I had done back at when my old private investigator's boss. But still, I was satisfied enough to just from being accepted as part of the team. I didn't think I'd get used to being part of Man Affairs Division so easily, but I felt completely adjusted to it all in just 1 month. Why do you look so worn out all of a sudden? No, it's just... I bought snacks too, so feel free to eat if you're feeling peckish. So that's what smells so good. Sausages. You have to leave some from Thena... You have to leave some for Thena and Brian though. Do you not like sausages? No, it's the packaging. The pig's grinning from ear to ear. I was just wondering if he should be. Is that your issue? Isn't it normal for him to be? No, not really. It feels like putting a big smiling human on a package of a bunch of human meat. Might be rather effective advertising for cannibals. And now I have to put myself in the cannibal's shoes? When it comes to products, it is important to think the needs of the customers. Anyways, there's not that much pork in that sausage anyways. Huh? What's this? Now that I'm taking a closer look. It says it's only contains 0.2% pork? With only 0.2%, why not just leave it out altogether? A good con artist always makes sure they have an escape route. Note: there's no such thing as a good con artist. What about me? Anyway, if the sausage is the only 0.2% pork, what's the other 99.8% made of? Fish? Flour? Maybe creature meat. Uh-huh. I'm afraid to ask, but what did you just say? You mean creatures? Yet another new term. You don't know. This is rather bothersome, but I guess I should explain. You're on the staffers and staff now, right? If mana inhabits a person, they call them a staffer. And if it inhabits an inanimate object, we call it a staff, right? That's right. Then on top of that, if it inhabits a non-human animal, it's called a creature. In the case of staffers and staff, the phenomena takes the form of random powers. Such powers are commonly referred to as skills. Creatures, unlike staffers, can't use skills. Instead, the phenomena manifests itself in the form of body transformations. Transformations. To put it simply, it makes them bigger, or they develop peculiar characteristics, something in that vein. Thus, some creatures get quite meaty, and with their excellent reproductive capabilities, they are often used as a source of food. And it's okay to eat? Though there have been no documented cases of creature meat having any adverse effects on the human body, there are some like you, nerds who prefer to avoid it since they view it as unclean. However, it's got a great flavor with a low price tag, so those with little means are thankful for the meal. Ever since we commercialized creature meat, starvation has taken a steep nosedive. Well, when you put it like that... I'm trying to tell you, it's fine to eat, but I didn't expect you to chow down with no objections. Well, since it's not bad for me, I've got no reason to eat it. Ugh. Surprisingly, nope, it's actually delicious. Improving taste, the most important of the body transformations creatures get. Phenomena Bureau, London Branch, Man Affairs Division. We're back. Ah! Why are you so late at getting back? We bought sausages. Woohoo! Wasage! Wastrage! I love these. Is something the matter? Reangang Walsh Glub Rainforest Angang. One at a time. Detective Brian was called to the scene and requested reinforcements. Oh, how'd you catch all that? Why would she talk with her mouth full of food if she thought we wouldn't understand? He said we should call. He said. Oh my god. He said we should all come if possible. That means you two, Note. Me too. Seems as though there's a case that he can't solve using his skills alone. What's the case? Where are we going? It's a murder case. It happened at a place on Leeson Street, a creature management facility. The head of the facility, he was caught and eaten by a creature. Case 2. Pet Shop. So unnecessarily dark feeling, in my point of view. But oh well. Note, are you sure you're alright not going with Pandy? She's your partner? If I ride in that car one more time, I might actually be crushed to death. Wait, did you just say Surgeon and I are partners? Ah, I guess I was the only one who thought like that. Yeah, I guess that is pretty much the case, though. Shouldn't that come more of a shock? It's pretty obvious you're trying to get a reaction out of me. Ah, someone's starting to build up immunity to my humor. I think you're the only one who would consider that humor, Sergeant. Ah, look at you two. You are getting so long. Let's say we are. Then would you please explain the case? All right. For our two latecomers, I'll lay it out for you myself. The murder occurred at a creature management facility called Woods. It's a place where they raid creatures and do research on them. It's a privately run facility, but they go way back with the Bureau. So it seems they also passed some of the information to the government. But at 1 in the afternoon yesterday, a body was found, assumed to be the head of the facility, Jerry Thompson. More accurately, they found a hand that they're assuming was Jerry Thompson's. You're saying the victim was eaten by a creature? And that's right, his hand was found in his office, and the rest was found in a waste treatment facility where they dispose of the creature's excrement. The victim's office it's in absolute tatters. From what we can assume was a larger creature rampage on the loose. It was there the creature caught and ate its victim. Not exactly scene I want to imagine. However, I clearly heard you use the word murder, right? If the victim was eaten by a creature, we can't exactly conclude it was a murder, can we? I'm not sure of these details myself. But it seems that Wood's faculty includes 3 staffers who keep the creatures in check. So there was a possibility of a cover-up for murder by one of the staffers. That must be what the higher-ups at the facility are thinking. This case has yet to be looked by the police, but those higher-ups asked for us by name. Thus, I think we are going to have to investigate the scene of the crime more thoroughly than we did our last big case. We're already here, the scene of the crime. Well, let's hear the rest of the explanation straight from the horse's mouth. Woods Creature Management Facility, Reptile Wing. Oh wow, how can I even begin to describe this place? I figured it would be some sort of ranch, but it's more of a factory feel to it. They did say there's some research going along. They did say there's some research going on alongside the breeding program, no? Sus the choice in interior design. But am I the only one concerned about the giant in that cage? What's gotten into you, Newt? You scared? That thing's stuffed. You're scared of a stuffed animal. Even creatures don't get that big. Are you sure? Of course, look here. Ah! My hand! I still got my hand attached to my arm, right? Stuffed animal right rear. That thing's alive! Blimey. And I hear... Blimey. And here was... Blimey. And here I was hoping it was stuffed. How can she assume her hope is a proven fact? Well, if you think about it rationally, there's no reason to lock a stuffed animal in a cage. Please, tell me that before I touch it next time. Someone's coming. 2 someones. Huh? I see you all arrived. What was that going on a moment ago? It was just Lena almost having her arm bitten off. But who's this with you, Brian? This. Here's the facilities. Wait, what did you just say? Why, hello there. Welcome. You all must be from Manor Affairs Division. I am the Vice President of Woods, researcher and security officer named Beck. I'm also the acting head of the institution as things stand, so if you have any questions, feel free to call me up. Sergeant Redfins at your service. And your name was? Name Beck. I just told you. I'm sorry. I sort of stopped listening in the middle since you were droning on so long. Quite the sense of you have there, Sergeant. I hear that quite often. That's a lie. Shall we start by checking the scene of the crime? Since you're the Vice President, Acting President, and Security Guard, it shouldn't be hard for you to get us right there, right? And perhaps is there a room we could use as our field office? If that's what you require, you can use our lounge number 2, which is located directly to the right of your crime scene. Great, then I'll prepare the room for our interrogations. No, I'll take care of that. I doubt I'll be much of help this time. What's that supposed to mean? I'll explain later. Sarge, is that alright with you? Seems like you've got something irking you. If you must, then would you like to come with us to the crime scene, Dima? Sure. Woods Creature Management Facility Office. This wasn't the way this place was decorated originally, right? I figured the place would be a bit of a mess, but this is far worse than I expected. It's a disaster. We've kept the room preserved exactly as it was. This is how it looked when Miss Moko came upon it. Who is Miss Moko exactly? Oh, I forgot to talk about her. Lisa Moko, one of our handlers here at the facility. She's in charge of the reptile wing. Then this Lisa Moko was the first on the scene. Well then, investigate your heart's content. I simply cannot look at this any longer. I'll attend to other business. Indeed, do as you will. Note, are you alright? Now this is the first time you've seen a crime scene torn up this bad, huh? I'm fine. When I think of this as a criminal investigation, I get strangely calm. Speaking of which, Detective Thena, you don't normally see the crime scenes. You look quite composed yourself. Well, for me, I saw a lot more of this when I worked probations. This isn't enough to draw a reaction from me. Probations? Thena started in another department. Then she moved to the Mana Affairs division about 4 years ago. That's the first I'm hearing of this. What's probation's handle? Good old probations, short for probations and rehabilitation department. Probations, right, that's the department that carries away the criminals once we close a case, huh? Well, when I worked there, I had a reputation for being a bit much to handle. I've got a dark past. Huh, darker than this? Heh, shilling for your shorts. And nothing of note. This isn't good. I came here to do a memory survey, but my mind is holding on to one intense memory that's drowning out all the rest. An intense memory? Indeed, a man screams, the sound of bones crunching, the inhale and exhale of a large beast. The hand over there is all that's left of the corpse, huh? The rest of it's perhaps... when I first heard he was eaten by a creature, I couldn't really picture it in my mind. But after seeing the state of this room and that creature back there, I cannot picture it. I'm feeling a little queasy. I'm beginning to understand what happened here, but I don't see a single clue that would help us identify a possible murder. From the looks of it, one of these creatures went straight for the victim. We need more information on our suspects. Let's join Brian for now. Alright, he's probably gotten the room ready for my integrations by now. Once we have a room, setting up does not take that long. Woods Creature Management Facility, Launch Number 2. Wonder where the time went. Or the date. Hello, there's a lot of you have finished with your investigations already. As expected, the burial does work fast. Ahahaha. Mr. Beck, why are you here? I called him in. If we're going to question everyone, I thought it would be better to start than the vice president. The other two suspects should be here with us soon. Well then, let's get right to it. Here's my burial file. He's the first to hand over this file direct me. Sorry? He's the first to hand over his file to me directly. Mr. Beck, I see your skill is coordinate-based object transmission. Threat level S indeed. It's one of Colt, a skill as dangerous as an armored tank. It's the highest threat level we ever shared with the public. What sort of skill do you possess exactly? With my skill, I can take an object within range and teleport it to any other location within range. But showing you would be faster than trying to explain it 100 times. Bam! How's that? That's pretty much it. Oh. They just hit him. Quite the painful location for that. Sorry to surprise. They just hit him again. Right in the same place. In such cases, double the damages. Let's divide into two groups. Brian and I will take a look around the facility. Thena and Nerd can continue with this man's interrogation. Understood? Then let's go. We may be in for it with this one, though I haven't had time to properly explain why. Anyway, I'll leave what documents I have. I'll have my spork upside down, so feel free to contact me if you run into any problems. Surprisingly, she is quite a light puncher. No, it's that she normally prefers verbal attacks.
Mr. Bex, did you perhaps mess with Pandy?
Pandy, yes, I might have laid a hand on her shoulder.
That explains it. Sorry, the surgeon doesn't like to be touched.
It's quite alright, I was the first to cross a line. That reminds me, the surgeon said she suffers from germophobia, right? That's why she didn't shake my hand.
Germophobia? That's not why. Well, I can't be sure, can I? After all, I'm still in the middle of my studies into psychopathy.
Psychopathy?
I mean, Pandy's been in her fair share of situations, but you'll have to ask her about all that later on.
Now that I'm thinking about it, we've been working together for a month now, but I still know almost nothing about the surgeon.
Well. Then, shall we take Mr. Beck's statement?
Right, of course. What should I tell you about?
First off, it would be good to start with how you found out about Instant. Here, you may rest your hands on this table and feel free to speak from a place of tranquility.
Righto, leave it to me.
Oh, I love to see corporate mindset. Let's go.
Indeed, let's. Speak from a place of tranquility. What's that supposed to mean?
A statement time. Ready? Go!
Speech review! Let's go! It was somewhere between noon and 1 when Miss Moko's scream echoed throughout the facility. Right when I heard the sound, I ran as fast as I could towards it. Though, I was the last on scene. When I saw the battered down door of the office, I had a feeling something bad had happened. When I saw all that blood, my legs felt like rubber. That's when I found out that Mr. Thompson was dead. That's all I can remember. Was that enough?
I guess we'll see about that, no? Note, consider this a warm-up. Do you remember how to use the information I collected during the statements?
Of course. When our witness is worked up or lying, we can detect fluctuations in their heartbeats. So if there's a statement I think might be false, I just have to connect the statement with the abnormal heartbeat, right?
Well, take a look at the statement and see if there's anything that stands out to you.
Nah, that's not even hard.
So while you were combining through his statement,
Right here. There's a lie in his statement.
You found one already?
Yep, are you surprised?
Come to think of it, you're just that sort of bloke, aren't you? I guess I forgot over the course of a month.
Excuse me, but about this lie, what are you getting at exactly? Don't you already know? Mr. Beck, the part about you running to the scene, right? When you heard the scream, you were lying. Wait, how did you come to the conclusion? Do you have any proof? The proof is in the abnormal heartbeat Detective Thena detected, but I can't lie on that. We're using the skills just yet. How should I proceed?
You're not quite as smart as you look.
Excuse me?
If we were bluffing, do you think we could have pointed out the exact part of your statement that was false? And speaking of us, we've already dead certain that you were lying. You shouldn't keep on questioning us about every single thing and casting suspicion. You should be telling us the truth. That's your job in this.
Detective Thena is a surprising good speaker at times like this. You see, it's a bit embarrassing. You're right. In truth, I couldn't head directly to the scene. I was in a situation I couldn't get away from.
Yes, of course. So what were you doing at the time?
Well, due to the nature of this facility, I don't think I can tell you that.
If you try to back out now, you'll only cast suspicion on yourself after all, and our eyes.
Indeed, I am terribly sorry, yet, it's my understanding that we have an agreement with the Barrow to not speak about any confidential information regarding the facility, no? Perhaps it was the chief inspector I spoke with. I got his permission. He said something about being your boss. Yes, indeed.
Then shall we put a pin in that discussion for now? After all, we should be hearing from our other suspects.
Indeed, both of you have been very terrific. I'll be seeing you. Detective?
Chief! Ah!
Calm yourself, we have hardly begun our investigation.
Right, but the fact that Beck is hiding something shows us we've got a huge harvest to reap, right? The chief, though, someday I hope to get the chance to legally let him meet his maker.
Chief, I'd like to offer up an early prayer for your passing.
Stop lying!
What's that sound?
Sounds like it's coming from outside. Ah, there you are! Detectives, sir, ma'am!
You can take this human here into custody. No, they cannot. This man, he's the real criminal. Don't let him fool you.
Excuse me, what are you two doing? Here now, the both of you need to calm yourselves down first and all, and...
Oh, to see anyone so brazen in this wide world of ours. You've exceeded my expectation once again. I'm genuinely impressed. Bravo, bravo.
Bravo, really? I said calm down. Calm!
Sorry. You only have to say it once. Why the need to repeat yourself?
Well, at least you're calm now, right?
I'd appreciate it if you'd refrain from shouting. You scare the creatures.
Excuse me? You know what? Let's just move past that.
Come to think of it, Brian mentioned sending in 2 more suspects. That must be you two. Suspects? I don't like the sound of that. I'm handler in charge of the mammals, Kendrick Halls. And I'm in charge of the reptiles. The name is Lisa Moko.
Lisa Moko. I feel like I heard her name before.
You were the first on the scene, right?
Yes, that's right. Yes, that's right. Ah, of course. Then let's start with Miss Moko.
Now you should hear what I have to say first. I have no idea what lies she's about to spout off. What am I supposed to do if she slanders my name?
It's quite alright. We are fairly...
Just do as this lunatic says.
Alright then.
Huh? Why are you giving in so quickly? Why are you giving in so quickly? You have something else up your sleeve? Seriously? Then you go later.
Okay then.
Not a chance. Haha, that's playing right into our hand. I almost fell for it. Nice try. No, you know what? Yeah, you pillock, I fooled you. It was a trick. And hell's bells, you caught me.
Note, seriously. I'm trying my hardest not to whip out my gun right now.
Calm down, you two, calm.
Stop repeating yourselves. No more repeats.
You loon. You just don't like to be around me because you think I'm unclean or something nonsense. She ran off, so shall we start with my statement?
Is it really over? It's over, right? Done, finished.
You really only need to say things once.
Note, this guy's the criminal, right?
I understand where you're coming from, but you can't let emotions cloud your judgment.
My word, detective! Detective work really takes it out of you.
So shall I explain how I know Moko is the culprit?
No, please start by telling me what you were doing at the time of the incident in question. After that, we'll get to each of your experiences and why you're butting heads so often.
Okay, I guess we can do it. How you barrel detectives insist. Speech review! My job here mostly consists of looking after all our mammals. We've got quite the collection of mammals we breed here. But I've heard screams coming from the reptile ring. And of course, it's Moko who's in charge of the reptiles. Anyway, I headed in the direction of the screams and found all that madness. I could tell right away that someone had been killed. The last time I saw Mr. Thompson was at 11, so that gave Moko 2 hours to kill him. There, I told you what I wanted to know. It must be hard to care for all those mammals by yourself, huh? I imagine you must have some pretty big creatures. No, actually, thanks to my skill, it's not hard at all. I found it quite pleasant. Do you have the skill that helps you take care of them? Of course, it's because of that skill I got hired on this.
Note, his barrel file is among the files Brian left behind.
Mr. Haas, your skill is possession-type animal manipulation, and your threat level is also 16. Correct. Thanks to threat level, life has been hard. I'm only allowed out during my allotted time, and even then it's only along the route designated for me. That must be difficult. Well, it is what it is. After all, my skill led to me this job, and it's not so bad. Surprisingly loyal, this one.
Possession type animal manipulation. So basically, you're able to control animals.
Of course, what else would that mean?
Of course, what else does that mean? Haha, true. Could you show us your skill?
That might be hard right this second, don't you think? No reason to get worked about it, though. I mean, I just can't reach. Can't reach what? Hold up a minute. I got somewhere. I found it. Take a look at this. It's a blueprint of the facility. We're in lounge number 2, right? The mammal's the catalyst for my skill are just down this hall. That's the mammal wing. It's exactly 4 meters away. Yes, and it just so happens 4 meters is the range of my skill. Even if I were to put my hands to the wall and try to use my skill, I'd never reach the entrance to the mammal wing. That's why I said it'd be hard to show you, but if you were to accompany me to the mammal wing, I could then.
So that's why you meant I was just about to kill you before you got to the point of the Falcons. Well then, please head back to the mammal wing for now. After we question Miss Mokoko. Well then, please head back to the mammal wing for now. After we question Miss Moko, we'll head that way.
Alright, pardon me, but,
Yes?
I mean, it's just, I'll wait back where I was. But don't you trust the word that comes out of the woman mouse? What was that about you being about to kill him?
What do you mean?
Never mind. He didn't make any strange claims, did he?
Nothing strange. Nothing strange, but quite enough to get me all worked up. To start, we just asked him what he was doing at the time of the incident. We are going to ask you the same thing.
Why is a person like that even working here? He seems proud enough of his work here as a handler. That's the part that gets under my skin the most. That's the part that gets under my skin the most. You can treat the livestock like humans, but you can't treat humans like livestock. I just can't see what he likes about those monsters. Then this work doesn't really suit you, Miss Merker. That ape is the only one who could find this joint enjoyable. Do you know what it's like being welcomed every day by a 4-meter-long monstrosity? We saw that giant creature outside the reptile wing. Are there similar creatures on the mammal side too?
Yes, they've got one absolutely covered in fur. I had no idea they got that big. I had no idea they got that big. I figured it was stuffed, which almost led me to a spout of trouble. It's natural to be ignorant to the fact. After all, these things are for military use.
Creatures are used as weapons.
They were quite useful at the beginning of World War I. They're easier to mobilize than tanks. They can also devour a person faster than you can say, Bob's your uncle. Though I never expected it to be Mr. Thompson who proved the stories too.
Of course, that's how the victim died. If you hate creatures that much, why work here?
The money.
Makes sense.
Right, when the boss man saw my skill, he made an extremely generous offer. Plus, there was nowhere else that wanted me. Speaking of which, your skill, Miss Moko. Let's see here. Command-based animal manipulation.
That's pretty similar to the skill on Hall's file, huh?
Honestly, they're practically the same skill. We're just both controlling animals. Would you like me to show you?
Huh? Is that alright?
Sure, just give me a second. I'll call one over.
Sure, it's taking a while.
Seems like she's here. Would you open the door? What's this? A turtle? She's adorable!
This is the animal I first saw locked in a cage when I entered the woods facility.
This is a pet creature. She is the only one worth looking at in the whole reptile wing. Would you like to pet her? I can make her stay still. Can you make her do somersaults? I can't give her any orders outside of simple movements. Perhaps I don't think she has the body composition for that.
You can even control animals you can't see.
Yes, it's possible. Generally speaking, if I know the approximate location, that doesn't just go for me. I'm sure it's the same as most skills people have. I'll send her back to the reptile wing now. Have a safe trip back.
With that skill, I bet you make the perfect animal handler.
I do. Feeding the creatures for the military would be especially hard without it. They eat an enormous amount of food, so we have special feeding areas for them. South, we use our skills to move those animals to the designated locations during their feed times. The last part, could I get that on record? Sure, I'll mention it again when I talk about it. How I came upon what was left on the body. Great. Now, well then, rest your hands on this table and speak from a place of tranquility. Great. Then, well then.
Oh my god, my voice is dying. Hold on.
Great. Well then, rest your hands on the table and speak from a place of tranquility. Tranquility?
Let's go, speech Ryu!
The creatures were bred from the military are violent and will eat anything in front of them, so it's quite difficult to feed them in the cages. That's why we prepare their meals for them in a separate containment area and they move that way. They can weigh over 100 kilograms, but they're quite easy to move with our skills. While the military creature feeds, I rest in lounge number 1 next door. When mealtime is over, I return the creature back to its cage and return it to the reptile wing. The skill Hawes has is similar to mine, but for some reason his threat level is higher than mine. It's normally around 1 o'clock when we finish feeding the big ones. That's when I found out Mr. Thompson was dead. I think that's it.
I see, I'm beginning to understand just why you and Mr. Hawes thought each other as culprits.
What? Why is that?
For that, we first need a good understanding of the layout of this facility. This facility divides its creatures and their care into 2 wings, one for the mammals and one for the reptiles. The reason they laid out that way is probably due to the special characteristics of the animal handlers. Oh, not that one. Damn, 20 meters? What would it be? This one, isn't it? No? What? Oh wait, no, it's this one, isn't it? Oops. What? No? Huh? I thought it was gonna be max. Is this max 8 meters? Just check. No. I mean, it's not 4 of these. Is it this one? Check. No. Okay. Check this one. We'll check all of these actually, to be honest, because like I actually don't know. I swear, like the reason for dividing it like this is the military, isn't it? I thought it would be this one. One's military, one's not military, you know? Oh, is it this? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Alright. It was that simple. Okay. That was more harder.
Because of their catalysts?
Miss Moko and Mr. Hawes, they both have skills that allow them to control animals, but the subjects of their control, their catalysts, are opposite. Miss Moko's skill allows her to control reptiles, while Mr. Hawes' skills allows him to control mammals. That's why this breeding facility is separated into a reptile wing and a mammal wing, and it's also why each wing is left to the person able to use their skill to control them. Yes, that's right. From what I heard, they originally didn't have the creatures separated by reptile and mammal. Managing to take... yes, that's right. From what I heard, originally they didn't have the creatures separated by reptile and mammal. Managing to take care of them realized. Can't talk well.
Oh, I see. What's all this have to do with our case, though?
Just as this breeding facility is divided into 2 wings, the crux of this case is also divided between the 2 areas.
The crux. The crux. The crux. The crux.
The crux? The crux? Yes, in a way you could say that they act as a murder weapons in this case. They're mentioned several times in the documents we've drawn up. What? I'm confused. Since it was a wing of reptiles and a wing of mammals, the core of this case has been divided into 2 halves as well. I remember it mentioned in one of... What? What lies at the core of this case that led to... Is it the feeding time? I remember it mentioned in one of the handler's statements. What? What do you mean? I'm so confused. Oh yeah, okay, that's the military, right? Yeah, okay, makes sense. The creature's bred from the military? Miss Melko, there's a military creature in the mammal wing, but you're unable to control it, right? So for that one, it's up to Mr. Hawes to do the controlling, right? Yes, he controls his much the same way I do mine. And just as I rest up in number 1 lunge, Hawes would have been sitting here in number 2 lunge while he used his skill. Of course, so in other words, you and Mr. Hawes have 1 military creature each that you are responsible for controlling. It's possible for each of you to move your creature whenever you wish. Aha! That's why you call them murder weapons. The crime scene where you found the remnant of the body was an absolute wreck, as if someone had been let loose to rampage inside these. I feel like this is obvious. Miss Mirko, when you saw the crime scene, you believed it to be one of the military creatures that carried out the crime scene, right? I did. And there lies our problem. We have 2 people able to send a military creature into that room. Moko and Thaz. Moko and Haas. It's not what Miss Moko wished to tell us. She wanted to say she wasn't the killer, so it must have been Mr. Haas who killed him. That's what Mr. Haas presumes as well. As if he wasn't the killer, it must have been Miss Moko who sent her creature into Mr. Thompson's office. The 2 possibilities are completely opposed to another. That's right, with our 2 suspects, in order to prove their own innocence, they each had no choice but to accuse the other of being the killer. Logical! I mean, I thought that was obvious!
Well, I seem to have a general sense of what's going on. This case is more complicated than I thought.
However, we may be able to solve it surprisingly easily.
What? You really think so?
It's obvious, but the creatures in reptile and mammal wings are completely different classes of animals. Their footprints are going to be easy to distinguish. If we can just get prints from the creature, we attack the victim at the scene of the crime.
We'll be able to see which creature got down the victim. That will lead us straight culprit.
Indeed, it will.
It's really that simple. All we need is ask Brian to make a trace photo. Then we're done. Hey, Brian.
Don't start yelling out of the blue. Don't start yelling out of the blue. You scared me.
Sorry. Where are you? We just uncovered a huge clue.
I'm in the mammal wing right now, with the Sarge. If you turn left once you leave the interrogation room, you can't miss us.
Okay, we're on our way. We're going to wrap this case up in a jiffy.
Alright, just don't run. We don't need you to take another spill.
What? Okay. Our little friend Brian seems down in the dumps for some reason.
You think so? Come to think of it, Detective Brian has been looking like he's been wanting to say something. I just hope he doesn't have anything too big on his plate.
Normally, if someone's saying that, it's big.
Wood Signature Management Facility, Mammal Wing. Woods Creature... I already read that. Is that everything? Yes, and I'm absolutely ashamed of myself. It is rather cumbersome. Of course, we do have a problem, don't we? Note, are you already done with the interrogations?
Sort of. More importantly, though, Note says he can solve the case.
That's good news. What do you need from me? Detective Brian, we've created a trace photo of the crime scene. Yes, if we could see the footprints of the creature that entered the scene of the crime, we will know just who our culprit is. From that response...
What's wrong? You're making me nervous.
Before I explain, take a look at this. It's a trace photo we recorded of the mammal wing just a moment ago. Huh? There isn't a single footprint. That's the bad news. That's the bad news. This facility is particularly concerned with sanitation, meaning there's a system that automatically cleans the entire facility at regular intervals. Every day at 3:00 p.m., sluice gates in each room slide open, and the debris that has collected on the floor is washed down the drain. Oh no. After our victim was killed, the system activated a single time, so we have 0 footprints in the whole facility.
What? There are creature footprints.
Gone. Yes. That's why he said he wasn't going to be much of a help before. Thus, I must apologize. It seems my skill isn't going to be much use for this case. You have no reason to apologize, do you? You don't really have any fault in this. I'm afraid I do. Whatever the reason, I am unable to carry out the job that has been assigned to me. This is no matter of fault. It's a matter of confiding with someone. In these circumstances.
Don't worry about him. He gets like this sometimes. I thought he was starting to get better about it, but anyways, these suspects are really grinding my gears. Let's stop with the belly aching and get to investigating. Here, let me help you out. Let's stop with the belly aching and get to investigating. Here, let me help you out.
No, this is a matter of my skill, and so I don't think you'll be much of a help.
Whatever, get over here.
Well then, shall we investigate the scene? Are you okay, Sergeant? Regarding what? Never mind. We're going to do a memory survey of this place, right? Indeed. If you see anything of interest in Mammal Wing, just let me know. I'll read the memories of this place. Memory survey! Boom, 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 boom. What's the ladder doing here? Maybe they needed to take care of the things higher up? It carries a memory of having moved recently. It seems it was used elsewhere too. But no, this is no ordinary ladder. It's a folding step ladder. Alright, Let's be more precise, Note. Right, sorry. Am I bugging you? No, it's just... I don't think the two of us would last very long anyways. What? Where's this come from? It seems as though the statements you took are not wrong. This cage is open at the same time each day. Though I can't tell you the precise time, I imagine it's at feeding time, as the creature handler said. The door looks significantly smaller than the creature, so how does it get out? Its fur may be making it look bigger than it is. I bet you could tell by poking at the thing, but are you sure you'd want to try? You'd be throwing away a perfectly good finger. No thanks. I couldn't touch a pen I couldn't touch a pen in my hand anymore without my index finger. Same goes for me. I couldn't do my shh pose without my index finger either.
Ah, me too. I need my index finger to make my finger gun.
I guess that leaves me.
You know we're joking, right?
This cage hasn't been opened recently. Must be feeling rather confined in there. This pig looks more fleshed out than your average pig. It's a creature, right? Oink, oink, oink. Is it hungry? This breed is rather famous for its meat. Does that mean that people eat at the Woods facility were the ones who discovered it? Sergeant, was that sausage from before, I think your presumption is correct, sir. Ah. Oink? Sorry, you're far too delicious to be part of the team. Anyone could tell from a single look that this door is suspicious. Generally speaking, a door with a sign that says staff only must be investigated. However, it's good we haven't checked behind it yet. What? Why?
We have orders from the chief not to investigate back there. Beck made a special request to the borough.
Seriously, that only adds to my suspicion.
I agree, but it seems that the ties between this facility and the borough run deep. We mustn't be reckless.
After all, we are no police officers, no matter how mediocre our support of the number of restriction places on. After all, we are no police officers, no matter how mediocre our support of the number of restrictions placed on us, we must endure and continue our investigation. The sergeant seems to have her fair share of complaints. What on earth is back there?
Probably just stairs leading out to a basement.
How do you know that? I said that really badly.
Probably just stairs leading out to the basement.
How do you know that?
The vibrations I can pick up don't end with heartbeats. When I knock on the door, I can get a big picture of what's behind it.
Oh, that must be useful.
It is. It really comes in handy when I have to take a shot through the door.
That's not what I meant. If there's a basement, it probably runs towards the lab down there. It's probably the only way to get in there. Note, write down what we learned here on the memory survey. The slats on the drain sure are big. Make sure you don't slip through. Brian said that they flush this place with water every day, so all sorts of refuse must wash through there. This grating has been opened a few times recently. Since I can hear Beck's voice, it must have been him who opened it. Why open the grate even with openings this large? Was there something that couldn't fit past them? Must have been something. That should do it. Did you jot all that down? Yeah, here you go. Not half bad. But of course, what's past the door still concerns me. If that's true, you'd do well to remember that place. However, it's Beck's order that keeping us out there. If we find out what's back there or that he's involved in the case, even Beck won't be able to stop us from investigating it. I see, I'll keep that in mind. Well then, I need to stop by my car for a moment, check out someplace else. Well, I do.
Why your car?
There's something I need to get in there. Get to it. She's always leaving me like this. Have you found anything out, Detective Brown?
I can't say I found nothing, but
No, look at this. It's a monkey.
I can see that.
Yep, a monkey.
And is there a reason you're showing me this to me?
He's got 2 tails.
And?
He's cute.
Put that thing back.
put that thing back in its cage. Otherwise, you'll be tried for larceny.
Why are you busy like this? Why are you being like that? Why are you being like that? He came to me on his own will.
If you're going to lie, come up with something more believable.
She's right. Look! He says it too!
Right, now put it back in its cage.
You're surprisingly good at ventriloquism. I thought it was really monkey talking.
Ventriloquism?
Huh?
My hairs are standing on end.
Are creatures usually able to speak?
No, I have never heard of a granny creature that's developed into just necessary to speak.
Wow, they even got they got all sorts of creatures here. Hey monkey, what's your name?
Human, kill, dominate, exterminate, restore, select superior genes.
He's got both specific and extremely disturbing ideas.
How's about we cut it out with the jokes? Not enjoying yourselves? Not enjoying yourselves?
Not enjoying yourselves? Mr. Haas. Now back home with you, Anderson.
Sudden acting like a monkey again.
Of course, he's just a monkey. Have you not figured it out yet? A talking monkey, was that your skill at work?
Oh, it was. I told you I'd show you my skill when you dropped by the Mama Wig.
Like you said before, your skill allows you to control mammals, similar to Moko's skill. Although there do seem to be slight differences. Seems like you've gotten a good look around the mammal wing. Well, we've seen what we need to. And what do you think? I apologize, but we're not allowed to disclose the details of the investigation. I do hope you understand. Not to worry about it. But my little friend's cute now. And by friends, you mean the creatures. Is there anything else here you'd call cute? Right, I mean, I guess you could call them cute if you caught them at the right angle. Yep, you got that right. Reptiles are nice and all, but for that patented soft touch, you've got to turn to the mammals. Would you like to pet them? No thanks, I still value my hands. Then you're just wasting your time. I doubt there's anything left here that will help you with your investigation. For you to conclude that, it must be because you suspect Miss Moko to be the killer, huh? Of course, you know what her skill is, right? So you think Miss Lisa Moko used her skill to move her large creature into the victim's office? Of course, why are you even asking me this when you clearly know the answer already?
No, we were just as capable of the act, were you not?
Me? What do you mean? It wasn't me. Can you prove that? I don't need to, after all. I know I'm not the murderer. A lot of help, that is.
You're the type of bloke who only sees the world from his own perspective. People like you make my head hurt.
Mr. Hawes, we heard that you were also using your skill to bring your creature bred from the military to feed. Thus you, like Miss Moko, were at the lodge, yes? No, I don't usually... no, I don't usually know him. No, I don't normally use the lodge. Then you didn't leave the room at the time of the incident? Not just the time of the incident, I tried my best to leave the animals... Not just the time of the incident, I tried my best to leave the animal wing as little as possible. Why is that? Without a chair to sit on, I doubt you could rest very well in here. It's because of our friends, of course. If we were to take my eyes off of them and something happened, it will only spell trouble for me. Plus, I can just sit on the ladder when I need to rest. I don't really need a chair. By ladder, you mean referring the step ladder over there? Oh, you're talking about my ladder right there? You mean to say that step ladder, not a ladder?
You really need to call it a step ladder?
Let's just call it a ladder then. The important thing is that Mr. Hawes does not use his lounge.
But Lisa Moko was sure he used that room, no? How does this change things?
Mr. Hawes, that lounge meant is for you is the place where we are currently conducting our questioning. Is that right? Yes, I guess so. Why meaning to check it out? I apologize, but we cannot disclose details about the investigation. Right, sorry, you mentioned that. Did you do what you will? Can I get back to work? Yes, and thank you for your cooperation.
The way he talks, it makes my skin crawl.
Detective Brian would like to investigate the lounge. It's on the way on the reptile wing anyway. It would probably be the best to check out both lodges. Though there will probably be no footprints in either.
Still best to get it out of the way. We can investigate what we can.
Woods Creature Management Facility, Lounge number 2.
I've had this thought a few times now, but these people really don't care much about interior design. These rooms could do with a few decorations. This is our lounge between the mammal wing and the office. So we must be right here on the map, right?
This is the place set up for Mr. Hawes, but he just said he barely comes in here.
Now that I'm thinking about it, the reason we are using this as our interrogation room is because Beck said the room is not in use right now.
Detective Brian, how's it look? Can you see anything? I'm quite sure Kendrick Hawes wasn't lying. I can't see a single print left by him. In fact, the only prints I see were made by Lisa Moko. On top of that, her prints were made on the toy in question. You're telling me that Miss Moko was in here?
That's odd. Moko has her own lounge. She clearly stated that her lounge was to the left, or the office, this lounge is to the right. She clearly stated that the lounge was to the left of the office, this lounge is to the right.
What was Mrs. Melko doing in here? Don't tell me she have to be here in order to carry out the murder. But why come all this way?
If we wish to figure out why Mocha was here, we should investigate every place we're allowed access to. Note, please record the following on a trace photo. I doubt Sarge's memory survey tech would show you anything more.
Understood.
If there's anything you need to look at, just tell me. Let's get to it.
Clue time.
No matter how many times I check, I'm sure the print of the tables were made by Mocha.
Why are Mocha's prints here? Why are Mocha's prints here? This isn't a lot she uses.
I haven't figured that out yet, but one thing's for sure. This is very suspicious.
The cabinet is filled with cleaning supplies. No prints in here either. The most recent trace I can find seems to be about a month old.
Like I said, the cleaning is done automatically, so there's not much use of this.
Detective Brian, you can see the trace that's a month old?
That's right. If the trace is well preserved, I can see it years after. Most trace disappears long before that though.
I see.
As expected, there's no footprints from the day in question in here either. The only footprints I see are ours.
Then the floors here are cleaned automatically as well. That interferes with our case, but it's quite helpful when it comes to cleanliness. No. That interferes with our case, but it's quite helpful when it comes to cleanliness. No. How about we grab one for our office too?
That might be difficult. This system pumps water onto the floor and into a drain. We don't have a drain, and our office is on the second floor.
A drain? Couldn't I just make one of these with a few... A drain? Couldn't I just make one of those with a few bullet holes?
What did the people downstairs ever do to you?
How about checking the door handle?
Why, it's obvious that we'll find Mocha's prints on it.
Still, we don't have much information to go on, so it would be good to collect whatever we can.
What's wrong? Is there a problem? What's wrong? Is there a problem?
It can't be. There's no prints.
What? 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 What?
Did someone wipe the prints?
No, that's not it. There's no trace of anyone wiping prints or anything. No one has used this handle before us.
That can't be possible. If you want to leave a room, you have to touch a door handle.
Right, and Miss Melko's prints are in here. We're sure she was here. So how'd she get out?
Well, that seems as though we stumbled upon a clue here. I think we're investigating everything we need to.
I filled out all the pertinent information.
Quite quick and accurate, as expected. I envy the search for having you as our site.
If I were to give my slow, inaccurate opinion, the most concerning part of this is how Mako managed to leave the room.
Right, after all, there are no prints at the door.
If only the footprints remained, we might be able to figure that out.
Hey, note.
Yes,
He's right, though. If only the footprints remain.
Why do you keep getting all depressed, Detective Brian? It's not like you erased the footprints.
Well, he is sort of like this anyways.
Of course, I'm well aware of all that, but it's hard to overlook the fact that considering that that mess my specialty has put you in, I only wish to redeem myself as soon as I can.
Then shall we give you a chance just to do all that?
Sarge, did you find what you needed?
Yes, a present for you.
A flashlight?
Keep that on you for now. Keep that on you from now on. Do they really need to whisper?
I mean, it's Pandy. Just sort of like this. I mean, it's Pandy, just sort of something. I mean, it's Pandy, just sort of like this.
Neverthina, it seems like you follow the logic of those two.
Of course, because I'm the one of them.
At least, the very least, I've got to try my hardest not to turn out like them. Okay, I'm counting on you. Okay, I'm counting on you.
Oh, honestly, I'm not too sure about this, but since it's you who's asking such, I'll consider it a matter of utmost importance.
It is of utmost importance, and it's something only you can do, Brian.
Understood. Well, then I shall return.
I'll be looking forward to seeing what you turn up.
What exactly did you ask him to do?
It's not important enough to warrant explanation. I'm not totally sure if you'll find, so just think of it as an insurance plan.
Poor Detective Brian.
Still, this may be better for him. But what's our plan now? Are we going to read more? Are you going to read But what's our plan now? Are you going to read the memories here?
That would be okay, move, but I think it better we just move on to the rooms we haven't investigated at all first. There's one more lounge here, right?
Woods Creature Management Facility, lounge number uno. This is the lounge number 1, the one assigned to Miss Melko. According to her testimony, Miss Melko came here each time she controlled her creature.
Looking at the map, this room is to the left of the office, correct? I'm not sure if that's just because they are part of the same building, but this lounge doesn't look at all different from the last. I'm not sure if it is just because they are part of the same building, but this lounge doesn't look at all different from the last.
Yet we are certainly in a different room, so our investigation may turn up different things.
Right, shall we try our hand?
Our hand? Detective Thena doesn't really do anything during these investigations, though, right?
Well then, if either of you sees anything you wish to investigate, just point it out.
Let's go! Memory survey! Sergeant, could you check the memories from this door's handle?
Sure. Nothing stands out. One person regularly enters the room before leaving 20 minutes or so later. Probably Melko. Why the door handle?
Nothing at all. There's a picture of frame here.
It seems as though this frame hasn't been moved for a very long time. There has a high probability this picture was taken to commemorate some big event.
This person in the middle doesn't look like the vice president. This person in the middle doesn't look like the vice president.
It seems that way. The typical look of an opportunist, and next to him maybe the victim.
Considering how young they both look, this picture must have been taken a long time ago. Who are all the people around them?
Well, perhaps we can ask someone about that later on.
What's this? Stock markets for suckers? Intermediate level?
The title sounds really familiar.
It's mostly people who want to quit their jobs who read these books.
She could just be reading it because she's curious about the topic.
She must be extremely curious to have read the same book cover to cover 4 times.
Looking rather desperate, Miss Melko. She must sit here while she's feeding the creature, right?
She's a soul who talks to herself. The table's memory tells the same story.
If she's talking to herself, what's it about?
10% complains about Beck, 10% gripes with the world, and 8% cursing out hawks. Ha-haws.
So mostly cussing out haws.
Seems like nothing that will help our case. Well, it seems like there aren't many memories of our culprit remaining. All we can tell is that Miss Melko used this room often.
Then it's just like her statement. She just quietly relaxes in here.
Even if Melko were our culprit, she wouldn't need to move her physical self around. She would just have to use her skill. Then it would be her creature that carried out her dirty work.
In other words, investigating this room turned out nothing of use.
For now at least, and for the same reason, it's most likely we won't find any decisive clues wherever we go.
Well then, instead of just running around blindly in this case, it might be just good to sort out what we got so far.
Considering I still don't know all the details yet, it might be better for you to sort things out.
One way or another, we're only certain of one thing right now. The victim was eaten by one of this facility's creatures. Our problem is, who sent the creature into the room? That's the gist of it. Our handlers, Mr. Hawes and Miss Melko, are pointing fingers at each other. After all, each has a skill that lets them control animals. The one who isn't the criminal is going to automatically assume the other is the criminal.
Are those two our only suspects?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? The vice president, named Beck. Why don't the two handlers suspect him? The vice president? Doesn't that mean you're suspecting Mr. Beck for this? As far... Oh my god, my voice is dying. As far as I'm aware, Beck's skill is coordinate-based object transmission. In other words, teleportation, right? Thus, using his skill, it's possible he could have teleported one of the creatures into the room.
Oh, that's right, we were the handlers.
Oh, that's right, were the handlers unaware of the fact? Oh, that's right, were the handlers unaware of the fact? We were made aware of the fact right when we set foot in the door the first time, so there's no chance they wouldn't know about Mr. Beck's skill. So clearly, because they know about the Mr. Beck's skill, they know it was impossible for him to have committed the crime. You think it was impossible for Beck to have used his skill to move one of the larger creatures to the scene of the crime? That's right. If you check out his document, you'll see for yourself, Sergeant. Huh. Yeah, there we go. That's easy. Sergeant, have a look at this. A bureau file. If you take a closer look at the information written here, you can see that his skill carries certain limitations. Was I here the whole time? Was this here the whole time? Was this here the whole time? I see. A weight limit. Right, Mr. Beck is the only able to teleport objects under 60 kilograms. According to Miss Moko's statement, the creatures bred for the military ones you suspect did this all way over 100 kilograms. I'm not sure about the other creatures, but it would have been impossible for Mr. Beck to use his skill to move one of the creatures bred for military. Indeed, as the situation stands, name Beck can't be our culprit. This time you took me out of with a surprise. This time you took me out with a single shot. Note. It's sort of a given. You were out of the room during Mr. Beck's interrogation, servant, and you were never able to get a good look at his file. And Detective Thena. Detective Thena? Detective Thena? Should I just head home? No, you're clearly... give me a second think. You're busy carrying out the actual interrogations, right, Thena? Yep, I guess she was, huh? Yes, that's it. Regardless, the handlers seem to agree that it was impossible for Mr. Beck to have committed the crime, which is why they each suspect each other. For now, let's exclude Mr. Beck from our list of suspects. List of suspects. Said weirder with tone upwards. Logical! Well then, let's summarize what we learned so far from Hall's and Moko's statements. Focus and open your ears, everyone. At the estimated time of death, the victim lines up with the creature's feeding time. At the time, the two creatures' handlers normally lay the creatures into the feeding areas. Of course, they each using their animal control skills to do so. Was there any difference in the way they went about that? If there was any difference, it's the Moko went into the large number one before using her skill. But it seems that Mr. Hawes used his skills without leaving the animal wing, right? And of course, there's a difference in the animals they are able to control. Moko is able to move creatures from the reptile wing, and Hawes is able to move creatures from the mammal wing. That's rather interesting. If you take a closer look at the map, Hawes was considerably far away from the crime scene than Moko. That's right, but using their skills, both of them would have been able to move their creatures to the crime scene. So it's possible that either of them carried out the crime. Thus, why each of them suspects the other. Ned, why are you so quiet? Did you figure out something out?
It's just, I'm a little surprised by the accuracy of your summary.
That's mean! I'm going home! That's mean! I'm going home!
Of course, I did figure something out. Part of the summary you just gave is bothering me. The part was, well, let me just explain it using the transcript. In order for Miss Moko and Mr. Hawes to have murdered the victim, they would of course have had to use their skills to move a creature to the crime scene. However, one of our handlers would have been unable to move a creature from the crime scene.
What? How so?
It's just as Sergeant said, the two handlers were different distances from the crime scene. Lounge 1, where Miss Moko is, right up against the main office. But the mammal wing, where Miss Hall was, is over 8 meters away.
What's wrong with this? Of course! They're ranges!
That's right, Moko can use her skill on anything within 20 meters, meaning she can use her skill from launch to bring creatures from the reptile wing. On the other hand, Mr. Hawes only has a range of 4 meters for his skill. If he was using Sid's skill from the mammal wing,
he couldn't reach that far. That means...
Indeed, Mr. Hawes would have been unable to commit the crime with his skill. Then our criminal is probably...
Before we get to that, there's one more thing I'd like to check.
Huh? What might that be?
I just read through the statements, and it seems that Mr. Hawes has never made an official statement that he was in the mammal wing.
Huh? But...
now that you say it, when we met him in the mammal wing, he never said for certain whether he was there at the time of the incident. I don't think Hawes was aware of Thena's skill and trying to trick us, but there's still the possibility that Hawes was... But there's still some possibility that Hawes was somewhere other than the mammal wing when he would use his skill. So we'd better be sure before we jump any conclusions. Was Hawes actually in the mammal wing? If not, was there somewhere else he could have been? Is there evidence that Hawes was at the mammal wing around noon? Do you have anything that can prove that?
No? Okay. Huh? Well, I mean, I'm just gonna choose one of these. I don't know if one of these are wrong. Ah, there we go. This one's the one. I forgot what time it was, so... You know. Now that I'm really thinking about it, we asked Mr. Hawes why he didn't use his launch later on, outside of his official integration. He said that he didn't like being away from the creatures in the animal wing. He went on to say something else. He said that though he had no chair, he would often sit on the ladder.
The ladder?
The step ladder.
You should have called it that before.
According to the trace photo, there's evidence that someone was sitting on the ladder in the mammal wing.
What time was the trace left?
12 on the nose.
Good. That lines up with the feeding time for the mammal wing. All of the footprints evidence was washed away, but there's other trace evidence in its place. I wish Brian could hear you say that. I wish Brian could hear you say that.
Indeed. I'm still alive, you know.
Right, and working hard. Regardless, the important thing right now is that Hawes couldn't have used his skill like that at the time of murder. So just to put it out there once more, if someone sent a creature to the scene of the crime, we've got only one person who could have done it.
Lisa Moko, it seems as though we found our culprit. Logical, but something feels off. I think the TP guy literally just TP'd the guy there, and then he was like, you know. Woods Creature Management Facility, Reptile Wing.
Hey, food time beasties. You like that, isn't it tasty? Why isn't it that most reptiles eat bugs? Quiet down! I told you I feed the dictator. You ate twice, you share yesterday, aren't you fool? We got people from the bureau roaming there. How's no good would come from a big guy like you running around? If you were caught, you and I both, what would happen exactly? Well, I guess that depends on how you are all viewing me.
And that depends on what you say from now on, though it may be of no use.
Is that creature the reptile wing bred from the military? Yes, and what's it normally eat? We normally buy up all the bits in the slaughterhouses, throw out at a low price. Well then, seems like it wouldn't object to a nice meaty snack. Good. I see what's going on. However, like I said before, what's possible for me is possible for that tosser horse too.
And no, that's not true.
What's that?
No, I
told you.
When Miss Hawes was controlling his creature, he wasn't in the lounge, he was in the mammal wing. Instead, if you think about it, the range of Hawes' skill, he couldn't have sent his creature to the crime scene. The only one who could have done that is you, Miss Moko.
It would be good for you to just confess. I'm not threatening you, but truly continuing to make excuses is unlikely to change the conclusion we've reached. If you're claiming that Lizard could have eaten Mr. Thompson, you're right.
Got her?
However, I didn't mean for you to do that.
Huh? What do you mean you're the only one who can control reptiles?
I'm not saying Hawes did it. It's just, it was an accident.
Huh? If she's right, then certainly changes everything.
Well then, shall we hear the story she has to say?
Speech review! Let's go!
Yesterday at noon, I went to the lounge as usual. Then I used my skill on the creature in the reptile wing. I'm sure I sent it to eat at the feeding room to my left looking in. And I didn't step foot outside the lounge until around 12:20. When I did leave the lounge around 12:30, wouldn't you know it was my creature was in the office. I have no idea how it happened, but by the time I figured it out, Mr. Thompson had already crossed Rainbow Bridge. I know you'd all suspect me for the crime. So I played dumb and acted like my visit to the office at 1 o'clock was my first.
Why didn't you tell us from the start?
Would you have believed me if I had?
No, honestly, I'm having a hard time believing you now.
See? It's not enough to be shouting about, though. Even though you claim it was an accident, you tried to pin it on Hawes, did you? Regardless, Mr. Thompson's death was an accident. Though it was, of course, due to negligence on my part. I'm not a killer.
Sergeant, what happens if a case like this?
If it truly was an accident, the sentence will be lighter than if it were a murder. Moko will probably only be held in a general entertainment camp for a few months. That's presuming it was an accident.
Indeed, that's the problem. Moko could be lying to get off with a lighter punishment, right?
Thus, it's our job now to figure out if it was or wasn't an accident.
The incident was caused by a skill, so can actually figure that out.
We can't be sure just yet, but if Moko is lying, there's a good possibility that there's something fishy in our statement. We have no choice but to sniff out what that might be. Is there something about the statement she just gave? No matter how small, if there's something that contradicts the information we've collected thus far, I don't see anything. Okay, it's double. Huh. No, okay. Because it says 12:20 and 12:30. I just wanted to check whether it was or not. There we go. Miss Melko, you said you didn't step foot outside the lounge.
Right, not one toe. Hey, Nerd, she might be telling the truth. I remember not sensing any oddities in her heartbeat at that time.
Yes, I'm well aware. If that's the case, how do you explain this? We have evidence of you leaving that room.
Excuse me?
We searched the second lounge originally meant for Miss Hawes. And we found your fingerprints, Miss Melko.
Hina, what time were those left? Let's see here. They overlap with the creature's feeding time, no.
If that's true... Miss Melko, when did you enter the lounge number 2? What are you talking about? I never went in there. I didn't even know that what the inside of the room looked like. Has there been some sort of mistake? Then Miss Melko, you claim that you were in number 1 lounge the whole time. That's what I told you. Well then, can you tell us what you were doing in there? What I do every day. I read my book. Come to think of it, I didn't see the picture that's normally in there, so I looked for it under the table. I thought it might have fallen off. That's also rather odd. Excuse me? Because according to our investigation, these things couldn't have happened like that. Right, according to our info... Miss Mocha, regarding the photo you're referring to, are you talking about the one on the table, the one with the young Mr. Beck and the victim? Yes, that's right. From what I have, it's a picture taken of Woods Funding members. Oh, but I counted about 10 people in the picture. It seems as though your team was a lot bigger back then. A while back, there was a conflict regarding which direction we would take the facility, and most of the founding members left. That's how the vice president tells it. Wait, there's something more important I want to know. Why did you say I was lying? I never said you were lying. I just said something is off. Miss Moko, you said that the picture was missing and that you looked for it. But the picture frame has been stood right where it's been for a long, long time. What? How can you tell? Once you've been investigating as long as we have, you can tell by the amount of dust that's settled on and around the picture. But you're getting pretty good at dancing around the subject. You figured that out from the memory survey, huh? I mean, it's about time I got good. As the person on the scene investigating the picture, I can say for certain that the person said picture frame hasn't moved for at least a week. But that puts us in an awkward position. What? Are you sure you didn't just screw up your investigation? I'm sure that's how it went. That's the date. Wait a second. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I misread the whole situation. Why the sudden change of heart? I just remembered something. When I was leaving the room, I looked back towards the table. It was there. The picture was there on the table. What's going on here? I'm not making any sense. How would you ever believe me? Am I going crazy? Is that what that day the creature went to Thompson's office? Did I do that to him? That's it. It's gonna be hard to get more information from Miss Moko. Note, I don't know why, but it doesn't seem like she's lying to me. Lena, I know you're good at reading people, but I don't think you can judge what's true on that alone. But like I just said, logically speaking, a lot of things just don't make sense. Even if we take her statement as true, I don't see much going for Moko, and most importantly, Miss Moko could commit the crime from Lounge 1 where she was at. She had no reason to move around. You're right. However, we have a clear proof that Miss Moko was in Lounge number 2. Yes, she denies it. Even though she has no reason to deny it. What if she's telling the truth? Huh? Detective Thena, what are you trying to say that Miss Moko doesn't think she moved, but she did? No. I know that doesn't make a lick of sense, but however... No, actually, that's it. What is? A way to move people without them knowing it. We already know just how to do it. There was a way of moving Miss Moko with her none the wiser. We already know how it happened. No, it's not just that we know it either. One of us experienced it firsthand. What? Who has experienced it? That would be me. What? Pandy, when? When do you think? You were there. What? How was that too? My ear hurts. For a bit more on the subject, shall we call in the person in question? For some reason, I have a feeling this case is going to take longer than I thought. I don't think she was there though, actually, to be honest. Woods Creature Management Facility, Lounge number 2. Note, why'd you bring us in here? And on top of that, why'd you call him Mr. Beck? Because, of course, if we wish to confirm our suspicions, we're going to need his help. Is that so? I'd be honored to help. It's an honor to be honored in turn, but on to business. Shall we discuss your skill, Mr. Beck? My skill? Don't you remember my showing to you earlier. It's no problem showing you once more, but I would like to refrain from taking a beating once more. Yes, of course, Mr. Beck, you used your skill to teleport our dear sergeant. I was teleported less than a meter, but it was so sudden that it took a moment to wrap my head around what just happened. Perhaps if he hadn't explained that he used the skill, I may have never known what exactly happened to me. Ah, then, that's the method you were talking about before. Mr. Beck, when we were taking Mr. Moko's statement, we noticed one glaring peculiarity. Miss Moko said she never left lounge number 1, yet we found her prints in lounge number 2. Oh, that's rather peculiar. It's such a thing possible? It is, with your skill. You could have teleported Miss Moko from lounge 1 anywhere else, wasn't that right? Indeed, you're quite right, dear boy. It's my own skill, yet I never imagined doing such a thing. Yet, if I did teleport her to another room, wouldn't she notice due to the objects surrounding her? Normally, I'd say yes, however, this case is rather special. Lounge 1, where Miss Moko was staying, is almost identical to lounge number 2, so if you didn't take a careful look around, you'd never realize you'd been moved. But of course, there are differences. There is a picture frame on the table on the lounge 1 that isn't here in here.
That's why Moko said the picture suddenly disappeared.
Right, there was after Moko had been moved to lounge 2. She had no idea she'd been teleported, so she thought the picture just disappeared.
But it wasn't the picture that moved, it was Moko herself. Nine Beck. Was though your skill that it happened?
Logical. What do you think, Mr. Beck? Care to explain yourself? Well, let's see. It seems that there's been a misunderstanding.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard that before.
This time I'm serious. I had no idea what happened to Miss Moko. He's going to plead ignorance. From what I gather, it's like this, yes? You found Miss Moko's fingerprints in lounge number 2. Yes, she never left lounge number 1. I don't want to hear to say it, but don't you think she might just be lying?
Moko gains nothing from lying about that.
I have met many different people during my time at this facility. From that I can tell you one thing. People don't only lie when it's in their best interests. For example, there are people like Mr. Hawes who tries to avoid lying, even when they have something to hide, and people like Miss Moko who lie out of habit. But of course, I believe that you investigators should know even more about that. In my professional opinion, wouldn't it make more sense to just say that Miss Moko went in of lounge number 2? No, it wouldn't be. But it's not like there's 0% chance that happened. Nope, it is 0. It's simply impossible. If she had gone in out of the second lounge like you say, well, have a look at this document. It'll clear things up. Mr. Beck, we took prints for the door handle in lounge number 2. That was rather quick work. You haven't even been here 1 full hour. We have a very professional investigating working that part of the case. What was that?
What was that?
Nothing. Well then, when you took these prints, did you find any suspicious Miss Moko's statement? No, quite the opposite actually. There should have been a clue there, but we found nothing. Excuse me? Mr. Beck, if we were to leave this room right now, we would be forced to leave our prints in one specific place. Can you guess where that might be? I guess if we went through that door.
I know the answer.
On the doorknob! Ah, true. She's got your answer. And why is it Detective Thina who's answering? Right, now, normally when you go through the door, you leave finger on handprints when you turn the handle. So, what sort of person can go through a door without leaving prints?
That would be... Hold up. Time out. That would be... Hold up. Time out.
that would be a person who never left, or perhaps someone who was never there, or... But what if someone was in the room and is now gone? What would you say if they didn't leave any prints? You understand now, don't you? We didn't find Miss Moko's prints on the door handle. There was also no signs of her wiping them off. Yet somehow we lifted clear prints left behind by Miss Moko off this table. So how did she leave that room? She didn't walk out of the room. Well, what I'm thinking is that she was teleported out. What do you think about that, Mr. Beck? Perhaps. Perhaps I did do that. You did. But even if I did use my skill on Miss Moko, what would that be? Point out. What would be the point? What would be the point? Yeah, what would be the point? Note, you just blurted out that without thinking that it might come out next again. If something doesn't make sense to you, you might want to check out the statements once more. That's where you'll see a list of suspect actions. Yeah, you're right. Mr. Beck used his skill to move Miss Moko. Miss Moko wasn't aware of moving from Lounge 1 to Lounge 2. There may be something in her statement that brings meaning to such a move. I should take a look. Yep. If we change where Miss Moko was, the statement suddenly takes on a different meaning. Oh, seriously? You've already found out something? No. If this is for real, Miss Moko... This is no trivial matter. This feels like the deepest secret of the case we've uncovered. Far beyond anything we've found out thus far. What are you getting at? When Miss Moko sends her creature to feed, she takes a seat in the lounge, then she sends the creature to the feeding area. When you're facing the lounge, that's the room directly to the left. However, if she was in lounge number 2 without knowing where she was, do you see what that means? If she were to give her creature the same orders and send it to feed in the room to her left... What then? If it went to the left, what have you done? Yeah, this room to the left of there is the victim's office. That's the scene of the crime. Miss Moko sent her creature straight that way without knowing what she was doing. Then, it devoured everything in that room, just as it always does. Wait a second. Mr. Beck, by doing what you did, you took the life of a victim. Not with your own skill, but using the skill of someone else. Wait, you've got the wrong idea. I have no idea what you're talking about. I certainly hope that's the case. Just thinking about the killer could use an innocent bystander as a tool for murder. It makes me sick. But, when the murder occurred, I was in my lab. That's what you said before, but we asked you to investigate the interior of the said lab. You made a deal with the Bureau to stop us in our tracks. If you continue to insist that's where you were, would you permit us to investigate the lab? You can't! You simply can't. After all, this is just a theory of yours, and this theory rests on the fact that you believe me to be the culprit behind everything. If you believe me, I'm lying about being in my laboratory. Isn't the burden of proof on your shoulders, detectives? Tell me, if I really did use my skill on Miss Moko, where do you think I was exactly? Where do we think you were? You may have seen on my Burrow file, but my skills range is a measly 8 meters. If I did move Miss Moko from one launch to another, I could have been far from her. In fact, there's nowhere I could have been to accomplish such a feat. Don't you tell me you don't really believe I would be in the hallways with creatures ordered to roam around, do you? Even if you weren't in your laboratory, you couldn't have pulled off this crime, huh? You're right, I couldn't have. Then what reason does he have for stopping us from looking around his lab? Alright, if you figure out a place where you could have committed a crime, that clears up whatever issue we may have, yes? If there's a place Miss Moko's creature can't see, a place close to scene of crime, that could be where Mr. Beck used the skill from. Shall I point it out to him? A place that fulfills all these conditions. The place Mr. Beck was hiding out. Beck has been close to the scene. Okay, so let's do math. So, he needs to be within these two. So he needs to be in the office somehow. Which is, I mean, not the best idea, but, I mean, sure. Lab. Right here, so that's 10 meters and that's not possible, so... Drainage pipes? Maybe? Yeah, let's go. With the creatures roaming around the holes would clearly be a dangerous place to be. There's no place to hide in either of the lounges and your prints aren't in either anyway. Plus, there's not a chance he was at the crime scene, so that means he wasn't on the first floor. It seems you have finally come to your senses. Speaking of the first floor... Yes, what are you getting at? You know the answer to that already. If there's no hiding spots on the first floor, you could just hide her under the tiles. Under the tiles? There's no room under our feet. They have a system installed that washes away everything at certain times every day. Thus, there's a drain in every room. So it follows that there has to be a drain pipe where everything flows out. You can even see it on the floor plan for the building. So that pipe is right under our feet. No one could catch you in there. And you'd probably have plenty of range of your skill. Mr. Beck, you were in the drain pipe at the time of the incident. From there, you teleported Miss Moko, and you took the life of your victim. Do you have proof? Proof? Proof that I was in the drains at the time you claim I was in there. Without such proof, your logic stands as mere hypothesis. We don't have proof yet, but it won't take long to investigate the drain pipe. I won't allow it. Huh? I'll reach out to the bureau. I'll ask them to make the drains a restricted area. You cheeky bastard! Are you taking the piss? You see, our drainage system was constructed with great care. So you can't just go trespassing, so you can't just go try-pissing around in there. Then it seems I owe you an apology. Excuse me? You should have told me before. You see, I figured it was fine for people to go down there. No!
Thankfully, it seems that no notable damage has been done. If there is something the matter, I'm sure that Bureau will see you properly compensated. So don't worry.
Detective Brian, no way. Where are you?
Note, down below. Down there. I think I can hear Brian's voice.
Seriously? He's right under us?
That bloke will do whatever you tell him to.
This can't be. Get him out of there at once.
Right away, sir. After all, I've already found everything worth finding.
Fortunately for us, it sounds like he left some clues, yes?
That's right. The trace evidence on the floor was all swept away, but I have clear handprints on the ceiling of the drainage duct. The prints from none other than Vice President named Beck.
Unfortunately for you, I think you're hard-pressed to come up with more excuses. Logical! We'll save. We'll save. Are we still like halfway? Holy. My voice is already dying. Sergeant, how did you know the things would turn out this way?
I didn't. Then why did you... I didn't, but if there's a clear hidden passage to be seen, it's only right to search it, no? We're investigators after all.
So you sent me here on the whim.
So what if you did? You got what you wanted, right?
Be that as it may.
Seems like you usually get the short end of the stick, Detective Bryant.
Regardless, the case is closed, so let's report to the chief.
It wasn't me. What's this now? We've proven everything that need reproving. It's really nothing in the long run, only the trials I've been through. You don't have to believe me. You probably won't. But still, would you please listen to what I have to say?
If you got something to say, We won't stop you.
It's true that I was in the drain ducts during the time of the incident. However, I didn't go there on my own free will. Huh? I don't actually remember going down there. But when I came to, I was in the dark. I could clearly remember being in my lab, but then suddenly I was somewhere else. Then, right when I climbed out of the drain, I found out that my boss was dead. I fell into someone's trap. Someone's tried to stray me. Well then, shall we assume that you've said your piece? Rather empty words not worth hearing.
But I'm the one in charge of interrogations. So even if he's getting his views, I wanted to hear him out. After all, listening to all I'm good for.
You think? Well, I guess you never know if a statement's worth listening to until you hear it.
Right, but isn't there a single % chance of what Beck just said is true? Couldn't someone have knocked Beck out and dragged his unconscious body into the sewer?
No, it was just a poor excuse to open his mouth.
Note, tell Thena why
he said it was impossible.
now there's nothing left to investigate, and nothing left to hide. Let's wrap this case up here and now. We should put a stop to these excuses.
I want to support that opinion, I'm not gonna lie. Damn. No. The thing is, in this case, I do want to support Thena because then I think I'll get, like, the wrong person. Beck's voice, right? Beck. Oh, it's this guy. Oh, never mind. Hmm. Damn. Hmm. I mean, it could be true because there's no way to get to pipes from the laboratory. Hmm. Hmm. No. If I try that, mammals. No. Has to be before 12:05. Hmm. Can't find anything. But I swear it's not. I swear it's not over. I don't think it's right. I feel like it's something wrong. I don't know. What would be evident though? How would... I mean, we checked everything, right? I mean, that might be wrong, but... We gotta choose one of these. Well, not that, guys. Now there's nothing left to investigate and nothing left to hide. Well, that's wrong. Let's just put the staff over there. See what happens. And because we can't really say anything about this statement anyway, so see if this works. Oh, let's go. Okay, got it. All right. Okay, I guess I was thinking a little too hard. Sergeant, now what I'm thinking about it, there is one place we haven't investigated yet. Is there? There is a door to the manual wing that had staff only written on it.
That's the place.
That place, the door we thought we might lead to the laboratory, right? I see, that's door. Didn't I make that clear that you weren't allowing that? Yes, you did. The high-up said the place is off-limits, so we should leave it be.
But what did you say before? Because they came to an agreement with Mr. Beck. We have proof that he was involved in an incident we can investigate there.
Note, is there any special reason why you want to look around in there? With the evidence we've collected thus far, I don't think we'd have the problem convicting Beck for this.
Beck's reaction was rather disconcerting.
Huh?
I first thought that Mr. Beck's claims of being in his lab at the time of the murder were meant to stop us from investigating it, but at this point I don't think it matters what trace events we find him down there. Yet, here he is, still trying to stop us from carrying out an investigation downstairs. I think there may be something else hidden in the crime scene of this. I believe the evidence for it lies somewhere downstairs. It should be alright, yes? I do believe it will take me time to work my way out of this drainage, just regardless. How about all investigating underground? How about you all investigate underground while I do that? Hold on, check something. Okay. Alright.
Can't be helped then. I'll allow it. However, if the chief cracks the whip later on, it'll be you, Note, who'll have to put his mind at ease.
That's a little...
Then that settles it. You have the keys to on you. Then that settles it. Do you have the key on you? What are you all saying? I won't allow it. I'm still the acting director here. No, you don't get it. This is your chance, Mr. Beck.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
You said you were in your lab before suddenly moving to the drainage system, right? If we investigate the lab, we might find something to prove just that. If you really are telling the truth, you have no reason to stop us, right? And to correct one thing you just said, you're not the acting director, Mr. Beck. You're our prime suspect in this. So, you're going to give me that key, right?
Woods Creature Management Facility basement. We're getting into meat of things. Here we are, the underground part of the facility you all wanted to see so badly.
How should I put this? This place fits you, Mr. Beck.
They're stale and it's much more messy than the first floor. Is there no automatic cleaning system in the basement? If that's the case,
let's get to investigating.
Right, the investigation.
Indeed, let's go.
Summary survey. Bum 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 bum. A mop. From the fact that they were cleaning supplies down here, I guess the basement doesn't have the same automatic clean system.
Then does that mean we'll still have footprints?
I mean, we might, but with such important evidence, I think Mr. Beck might have mopped them away.
Well then, we'll be back where we started. We're back where we started.
But the head of that mop... It's too dark to really make it out, but it's got a strangely reddish hue to it. What's in this bucket? Fur?
There sure is a lot of it. I guess that's why I was feeling a tickle in my nose, huh? Honestly, I'd rather just sneeze.
Do it the way, please. Sergeant, did you read the memories from it?
Let's just move on to the next thing.
Alright. Where does that door lead?
That laboratory, it's where I normally work. So this is the place you'd be talking about? According to you, Mr. Beck, we were in there before being transported to the drain, right?
But what exactly does research into creatures entail?
Well, I mean, I guess we're about to find out. Here, let's just open... Detective, what exactly is back there? Don't look. What? Don't look, no, that's an order. Sergeant. Uh, 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 move. Huh? You, how could you, bastard? You, how could you, bastard? Detective Athena? Athena, cut it out. Even I can't stop them this time. They can do whatever they please. I have an answer. They can do whatever they please. They can do what they please. I have to have an answer. Speak. What are you people? What have you done?
First, let me go.
Still able to talk. Was I not squeezing hard enough? That's it, huh? That's it. Just like that? That's how you made all those creatures up there, huh?
Detective, stop. How's he supposed to answer when you're squeezing the life out of him like that?
Fair point. Okay, speak up. Say something if you don't.
Detective, you're not going to kill him, are you? You promised. Sorry it took me so long getting back.
Good timing. Why'd you have to go to say that? I wanted to scare him even more. Of course I wasn't going to kill him. After all, I'm the one in charge of these interrogations, so I got to listen to absolutely everything he has to say.
Ugh.
Stop your whining. You can tell me now, yes? What are you doing behind that door?
Yes, I'll tell you. Creature mutations. We're promoting mutations. We do it so we can study more creature variations. You promote mutations. Depending on the mutations the creatures carry, their values can vary widely. The right ones could have a larger impact on this nation's economy.
To that end, you carry out such unethical experiments. That is the truth you are hoping to hide from us?
Unethical from an ordinary perspective, yes. What was that?
In the past, people here would use these methods to form the pig into a creature with heightened reproductive abilities. This breed is now the most well-known creature alive, and it's quite likely that you all instigated the product made for it.
Be strong, can't throw up now.
The breed is now raised in large herds at low cost, and it has saved so many from starvation. My research has saved hundreds of lives. You have no idea how much more I could save. Yet people feel sorry for these walking meals that I can't even speak or tell me to stop. The same people who go about their lives happily eating meat. That's what's unethical. Their hypocrisy. It was so obvious. I'm not surprised. To be so proud of your work and then turn around and hide it in the corner. You were going to hide all of this until the very end, huh? Someone, please get this wound off of me. Lena, help Brian look around the corridor some more. You'll take care of Beck. Cool your head. Should I?
Detective Lena, what on earth is behind this door?
Ignorance is bliss, note. On this at least, that holds truth. I'm counting on you.
Indeed. Don't you worry about her. Sergeant, about the detective, Cena.
It's because of our time in the probations office. It's the largest division in the operations sector of the Bureau. And though the name might sound peaceful enough, they are responsible for capturing the staffers who turned into crime. They are a special unit trained in armed and unarmed combat. Tina was a rather famous officer at the provisions unit office. Her rate of gunning down targets instead of capturing them was overwhelmingly higher than that of her peers. She wasn't nearly as talkative back then either. Then why she moved to Manor Affairs Division? She filed for the transfer herself. From what Brian tells me of the time, Tina was trapped in a building during one of her operations and only managed to escape when the criminal she was targeting helped her. That case, I think it changed Tina's outlook on life somehow. And Detective Brian. And Detective Brian knew her before she transferred over. Ah, those two went through training together. And also,
Sarge, could I borrow you for a moment?
I'll tell you the rest later. Honestly, I know absolutely nothing about these people. You say these footprints were left at the time of the crime.
Yes, yes.
That can't be. Beck was supposed to be in the drainage lines by then.
Indeed, but I checked them with my own two eyes. These footprints weren't made by Beck. The footprints in this corridor were made by our mammal handler, Kendrick Hawes. What?
Are you sure about this?
Yes, even if you check the distance of these strides, there's no doubt the footprints were made by Hawes.
But didn't we conclude earlier that Hawes was in the mammal wing? Well, we must have been mistaken. Mistaken? Now here's the trace photo Brian just filled out. If you take a look, you can see for yourself. Right, if we think about it, we believe Hawes to be the mammal wing, and take a good look at this trace photo. We can find out why we were mistaken. What? Combination failed. I don't know. Okay. I don't know how that helps, but okay. Oh, the stepladder. We thought Mr. Hawes was in the manual wing because of the stepladder. After all the time Mr. Hawes left those marks on the ladder was the same time we estimated for the victim's death. That's right. So? Huh? All right, Note, we're still in the middle of an investigation. Right, sorry. So we figured out Mr. Hawes was sitting where the ladder currently stands, but that's clearly not the case.
I see. These 4 square impressions are in the downstairs corridor. Perhaps it's those you speak of.
Yeah, they were left by the stepladder in the manual wing. Also, when you read the memories from the stepladder before, Sergeant, right. Right. It held the memory of having been moved. In other words, Mr. Hawes brought the ladder down here to use it, meaning he wasn't in the mammal wing at the time of the incident. He was here, in the space meant for staff only.
But why'd he bring a stepladder down here?
Maybe he brought it down there to help him use his skill. Maybe he was trying to get in the range of his creature on the first floor.
No. The range of Hawes' skill is only 4 meters. Even if he had his feathers pressed out against the ceiling, he'd never reach the mammal's wing on the first floor.
What? Then why? How about we start by calling over Hawes? We've got no choice but to hear what he has to say. This case doesn't have more to hide. Okay, my first hypothesis was wrong. I don't think my voice canceller allows that, but look at the glowing law. Oh, you looks like you still at it. Mr. Beck, why do they have you like that? You say something you shouldn't have again. Get fooled by Moko, perhaps. Mr. Hawes, we'll be asking the questions. What brought you down here at the time of the crime? What's this now? Who told you that I did? Vice President Beck? Yes, I was down here, but why? You said you were having a seat on the ladder in the mammal's wing then, didn't you? I said I normally do. I never said I was in the mammal ring at the time of the crime, did I? What? Did you just lead us to think that then? No, you thought what you wanted to think. As I said, I was down here. Do you have an issue with that?
Would you mind making a statement then at the time of the crime? What were you up to?
That doesn't sound too difficult. I'll tell you the truth about all this.
Let's go, speech review.
Mr. Beck sometimes forgets to lock the door down here. The first time, it was sheer curiosity that brought me down here. That day, I was shocked by what was going on down in the lab back there, but, humans are no different from animals, but how can some of us be so arrogant? I decided to let the outside world know what was going on within these four walls. That's why I began sneaking in whenever the door was unlocked, gathering my evidence. Yesterday I found the door unlocked. That's my only reason for coming down here. So nothing weird about that, right? From what I gather, it fits. Of course it does. I'm not the sort of throw out from feeble attempts at deception. Well then, why didn't you tell us you came down here? I'll tell you, but bro people, you joking?
Note, here's his statement. About this.
Yes, there's a part of it we can't ignore. That part, let's press him on that. Mr. Hawes, why are you lying? What? Where's this coming from? I can't mention the abnormal height view we detected with our prime subject. Mr. Beck is also listening. I've got no choice but to dig a little further. You say you had no other reason, but I'm willing to bet that's not true. There was one other thing. That was surprisingly easy. Then what was your other reason for coming down here? Oh, that's a secret. Mr. Hawes, dancing around the truth during an official statement isn't a good idea. Worst case scenario, we accuse you of a crime and close the investigation. So please think about this one more time before answering again. I mean, if it happens, it happens. However, do you really think you could do that? As things stand, am I really the most suspect about this? Clever.
Clever. He knows that if he keeps holding up, he won't bleed from this.
Why is that? We've pointed out a number of suspicious actions, but none of them seem to faze him.
That's because Mr. Hawes hasn't told a single out lie. Mr. Hawes hasn't told a single outright lie.
Come to think of it, Mr. Beck said so himself. Miss Moko's the type of person to lie unnecessarily when she gets a little frustrated, but Mr. Hawes wouldn't even lie to a fool person.
Even though he's trying to deceive us, he's relying on ambiguity to mislead us in place of lies. No lies. How many times is that going to get him out of this? A good con artist always leaves an escape route open.
Well then, Miss Hawes, I'd like to ask you one more question. What might that be?
The reason you came down here, does it have to do with the murder?
I'll hold my tongue on that one as well.
Why is that?
Excuse me. I just don't want to comment on it. It's a private matter.
If it has nothing to do with the case, just say it's not related and be done with it. One simple answer would do nothing to violate your privacy. However, avoiding the question, that's the same as saying it's related to crime in question.
You're right. I guess it's better to say it like this. My actions weren't related to case.
Good to hear.
Why is he beaming himself up?
Perhaps if he said it wasn't related to the case, when we find out it was, he'd be caught in a lie, and he wouldn't have his escape route out anymore.
Thus, he'd rather admit to be charged, then he's hoping he will quietly move on, and then, when we come back or back away, he'll give up some small excuse relating to how he was involved. Seriously, Dana turns out to a different person when it comes to heated verbal exchanges.
When it comes to that, you're right.
Yeah, she's something else, man. But he made a mistake. He shouldn't have convinced me. Now that I know Mr. Hawes is connected to this, I just need to figure out why that's relevant.
Are you expecting to find something?
Not yet. I'm not sure this is the sort of thing that's going to be figured out by connecting one or two clues. However, if Mr. Hawes is connected to this somehow, I'm sure that our clues have a few implications that could lead us down here right path. It seems I'm going to have to make a mess of all these.
Exologic!
Up until now, it seems that out of all our suspects, Mr. Hawes has been the furthest from the crime. When we found out that it was Miss Mokov who turned her creature loose on the victim, Mr. Hawes was practically cleared of all suspicion. Then we found out that it was Mr. Beck who moved her. Therefore, there's no place for Mr. Hawes in all these, yet he just admitted he was involved in the crime. So, if I look back on all the clues I gathered once more, check all the doubts and actions that didn't make sense, I'll find they all are connected. Let's go from the top. So we're gonna start with, obviously, max 4 meters. And we're also going to go to... that, I think, maybe. Sorry, not 4 meters, it's this one. I mean mammals, actually. That's obviously that one. And check first. Okay. 2 matched correctly. So this is just not the order of what it is. It's just like, oh, whoops. It's just whatever it is, how many connections there are. I was confused when I did that first time. Oh, oops. That's obviously that one. Yeah. I feel like it's these. Oh. I mean, it's obviously one of these. I don't actually know which one of these would help. There we go. Drainage works. Okay. There we go. I mean, the guy can control humans. That's how simple that is. I've unlocked it. We misunderstood one of the most fundamental truths from the very beginning. Because of our own arrogance, the criminal was prancing about right in front of us this whole time. There's one thing that's been bothering me. One thing. I imagine you must be I imagine you must have a whole lot of questions. Yeah, let's see how long you can keep up with this thick guy act. Mr. Hawes, besides the catalyst part, your skill and Miss Moko's skill are quite similar, yes? Now that I mention it, though, the threat level of your skill is also 1 rank higher. Estinane, that's as dangerous as a fully armed tank, isn't that right? Well, all skills are different. On that, we can be certain. I mean, it's clear that your skills have slight differences. After all, compared to Miss Mokov, who can only give simple orders like where to move, you're able to use that monkey's mouth as your own. and pull off rather sophisticated feats. It felt like that thing was possessed. But that alone doesn't explain everything. In terms of skill range, Miss Moko is overwhelmingly superior. But in the end, the catalyst plays a lot into your destiny and threat level. At the time of the crime, you grabbed that ladder and brought it down here. You climbed onto it. That was to use your skill. You had to stay within 4 meters of your target.
Hold up. No, we said before that even if Halls was pressed against the ceiling, he wouldn't have been able to reach out the first floor.
He didn't need to.
What do you...
That's right. He didn't have to reach the first floor. The target he was aiming for was in the drains.
Wait, no, note! The only person in there was...
What's the meaning of this? Mr. Hawes. Mr. Hawes, you're able to control every member of the mammal family. Any mammal and people. We're mammals too, are we not? Ryan, the cuffs.
I'm one step ahead of you. What do you think you're doing? Let me go!
Quiet you and step back about 4 meters, would you? Those cuffs are no normal handcuffs. From the second you're dead if we so desire. It was you. From the start to the finish, it was you.
Yeah. Do as you will, I won't say a word. Mr. Hawes, that would show a lack of judgment on your part.
What would?
Just a moment ago, you confessed to Athena that you were involved in the crime. Then, Note puts forward his hypothesis that you were the culprit. And said hypothesis lines up perfectly with the ridiculous statements made by Mr. Beck. So, if you're unable to refute Note's hypothesis, there is no better suspect for this than you. The silence you have wielded as a weapon thus far is now a poisoned blade aimed back at you. You utter pillocks!
Let me explain just how you did it. A few minutes before the crime, Lisa Moko was in the Lepta wing where she works, and Ninebeck was in his laboratory. That's when you and Mr. Hawes used your skill to control Mr. Beck. You brought him up to the first floor and led him into the drain pipes. Then just as he was about to get out of your range, you went underground. Using the ladder, you got right up against the ceiling. You then used your skill once more. You control Mr. Beck. It was mealtime in the reptile wing when everything was in place, and Miss Moko headed for our lounge number 1. You made Mr. Beck use his skill while he was under your control, moving Miss Moko to lounge number 2. Miss Moko was none the wiser, so when she sent her creature to the feeding room on the left, that's right where the creature moved. However, that was actually where the victim was located. Mr. Kendrick Hawes, you are our culprit. Unfortunate, really. Logical.
Well, now that we've got this confession, I'll call the provisions division.
Right, good work, everyone. Tina, escort Mr. Beck back to the first floor and keep an eye on him. Even though he's not our guy, they're going to take him in, and I can't put you with the Hawes. Is that so?
Sorry to bother you, but could you place me in the charge of someone else? This woman's a bit...
Dear me, you certainly have a lot of requests.
Then shall I?
No, I'll take care of him. You're not exactly a most physically adept detective. Instead, keep an eye on Thena for me.
Okay, I will. Sir, don't I get a last meal or something before you take me away?
No, so sit there quietly. We received orders that we're allowed to shoot you if we try to get close to you. Why'd you kill him?
Aren't you much more to the point?
The victim. Why didn't you kill him? Or why'd you kill him? You saw what they did to those creatures. The facility has connections with the Bureau and the government. Even if I were to tell people what's going on, they'd cover it with a heartbeat. So I made a judgment call. And whack! I dropped the hammer. I took out the president. I took out the vice president. I made the call. Okay, I'm with you so far. You okay with that? Hey, why, Moko? I know she doesn't have any greatest personality, but did she know what was going on at the lab? Well, also, what about the creature that tasted human flesh because of you? Also, what about the creature that tasted human flesh because of you? If you were going to drop the hammer of justice, you should have dirtied your own hands. You bloodied your hands of innocent people to save your own skin. Even the creatures you were trying to protect. Seriously, doesn't that bother you even a little? That creature wanted that. Huh? And Moko, if that woman had known, would that have changed anything? No, actually, if she had known, she would have pretended not to and just kept on working. She only cares about keeping food on her own table, oblivious to how the world turns. But I'm different. This world needs people like me who can make sacrifices. This guy's insane. Well, there's something wrong with this guy. What? Cut that crap. Do you honestly think that people here were going to do the things they would? Cut the crap? Do you think that... Cut the crap? Do you honestly think that people here were doing the things they did without knowing that they were in the wrong? Detective Thena. You're all the same. Even though you all know what's going... You're all the same. Even though you all know what you're doing, you do it because you think you're more important. You think your cause is more important. You all use your own reasons to rationalize your decisions. You play dumb. You say it's not what it is. That's how you lie with yourself. Are you blind? I dare you think I'm like them. Yeah, but of course, you're lower than them. To be perfectly frank, I can relate to what you did in part. I don't like this facility any more than you do. However, you said it yourself, duty to protect your animals, but you used that creature as a tool to commit a murder. How many times do I have to tell you? That creature wanted to do that. Did it talk to you like a human? Did it say, please let me kill someone? You think humans are like animals, yet you don't think you are like other animals. You think humans are like animals, yet you don't think you are like other humans. I'll agree on one point. You couldn't overcome your anger, so you did a thing against your better judgment. I'm clearly not getting through to you. With how you're talking, you must beat your fair share of morons, huh? Alright then. Since we beat your convictions to death, how about I tell you some of mine? And regarding mine, I've killed my fair share of murderers like you in the past. Typical. I mean, I figured I was cleaning up the world a bit, saving innocent lives and all. However, that wasn't the case. I learned later on that even murderers could have a change of heart. So for those who atone their sins, they deserve a second chance at life. That's why I chose a job where I could hear those words straight from the killer's mouths. Yet, there are the scum who use that opportunity to kill again. For those monsters, death seems better, huh? So are you going to kill me? You see that gun right there? No. I've got better things in store for you. Detective Thena, I'm going to call the sergeant down. Do what you will. It'll be over before she even gets here. Why on earth are you doing this? What's that? It's the trigger for your crops you're wearing. If I push this yellow button, a stream of high voltage electricity will run through your body, frying you to crisp. You savage! Have you gone mad? Say it. Tell me this murder was just a simple case of you venting your anger. If I find your answer satisfactory, I might just press the other button. Fry or go free. The choice is yours. Alright, I'll talk. Damn you. Speak. Speak! He fainted. Like I expected any less. That was harsh. sorry. I was just so flustered I couldn't help it. Sorry, I was just so flustered, I couldn't help it. I was so scared you were going to do something you'd regret. I said I was sorry, and it was all an act, that's a show. Note, I am sorry, but could you fetch the Sarge? I'll tell her what happened. Okay. Detective Thena? Yeah, what is it? What's my name? What's this nonsense coming from? Your note, of course. Please say my full name. It's just a nickname. Well, crap. I must have never introduced myself. Name's Notrick Case. Please remember it. I'm Mr. Kendrick Hawes. I thought I played that part pretty well, but is it really that obvious? You got our voice good enough. But Detective Thena calls the surgeon by her nickname, Pandy. This girl really is a loon. This conversation is being transmitted to our colleagues through staff. I'm sure they're already on the way. Let's not make this any bigger than it already is. Let Detective Thena go. What are they going to do when they get here? This girl's pretty much my hostage. After all, I have the trigger from my cuffs. Oh wait, sorry. What are they going to do when they get hit? This girl's pretty much my hostage. After all, I have the trigger from my cuffs. I have one too. Don't even think about it. Ah, is that so? Then you'll just have to die. What? She went on and on like that, but no bullets. Ugh, she's all bark and no bite. I'm alive? My legs were trembling so hard I couldn't even move. Right, there's more than one trigger, huh? What do you think when you're doing? What do you think? You want me to keep these cuffs on, knowing when this girl will kill me? So this green button releases the cuffs. Right. You'd rather I fry myself with the yellow button, huh? Like I'd ever. Why are you just... I'll let you free from my skill. Why won't you these stupid cuffs open? Stafer cuffs have the quick-acting failsafe built into them just in case a stafer over the rank of Bowie tries to resist. Each detective is provided with a triggering emote, and that trigger allows detectives to subdue the stafer before they pose a threat. The yellow button triggers a stream of electricity just enough to subdue the wearer at the first press. But with each subsequent press, the shock gets stronger. However, some stafers have skills that can protect them from the electric current, which is why we have the second button. The second button, the green button, is for a neurotoxin. In a heartbeat, the toxin hits the brain where it disables motor functions. After that death, as for a button that releases the cuffs remotely, that button doesn't exist. What? I definitely pushed green. He's dead. Looks like Hendrik Haas had an accident. Fry or go free. Detective Thena, why'd you phrase your demand like that? I didn't lie to him. I truly didn't. Whoa. Note? Note! Note! Yeah. Sorry, you must be tired, but there's just something you have to fill out before yourself. No need to apologize. Your role in this is just finished. So I'm thankful you're just helping me out. No need to thank me. I try to be as helpful as I can be. That's just the whole person I am. Yes, that's exactly the sort of person you are. And Detective Thena, she's just the same. Oh, you are here. Chief. Detective Case, you sure played an active role in this case, didn't you? Good work, my boy. And I heard you crawled through that drain pipe. Detective Ryan, you seem surprisingly chipper today. I thought this Thena business would have you angry. Actually, we were quite lucky. Woods have been in a bit of nosedive the past 4 years, and thanks to this fortunate timed incident, we are able to close her down. Close the facility? That's right, quite a number of inhumane studies have been conducted at the Woods facility. If word has got out, they'd make the connection to the Bureau, and we'd be condemned alongside them. However, it was the Bureau's own agents who brought that to light. That makes us the heroes in this story, exposing the threats that lay out in wait. Due to that fact, punishment for Detective Hivers will be rather light. After all, the killer died due to a simple misunderstanding. Did the Bureau really not know about the research that was going down there? Detective Case, you do ask rather silly questions sometimes. Whether we knew it or not is highly important matter here. I'm beginning to see why no one likes the chief. Dear me. Did I do something wrong?
If I had to pick one problem, I'd say it's just you existing.
You could do with being a little less honest at times. Fenno Manor Bureau on the Bratch 4th floor balcony. Playing hooky again? You caught me. I hate paperwork. Plus you're better at it than me. Not today, I'm playing hooky too. We'll both get in trouble for running off. You sure you're not running off because the chief gave you an earful? Are you reading my memories or something? Not a chance. I can't touch people. I see, then back when Mr. Beck touched her shoulder. The surgeon, she's just that sort of person. This case, it's going to make waves in our country. It's going to change how people perceive creatures on the whole. It's possible that even creature-based foods could be banned. It's going to be a rough time for the people who live off creature meat. Do you think Mr. Beck really did his research for the betterment of mankind? I can't tell you what went on that man's brain, but I can at least tell you that he wasn't lying to us. That criminal Beck would have thought he was sticking to his morals with all that research. Instead of feeling bad about doing for money, I bet he put his heart at ease. People who are stuck in their own ways, they act outside their ideals of right and wrong. They don't care about the truth or making up excuses. That goes for Beck. Oz too. And also, Detective Thena. Detective Thena. You're well aware of that, aren't you, Nert? Thena's actions, they lie outside the realm of what we view as good or evil. No one can change Thena, until she decides to change herself. I guess Detective Thena's always been like that then. I was the only one who didn't know. And that's right. And if you kept on not knowing, you wouldn't fear her. However, you think I'm scared of her? Are you not? This isn't me tooting on my own horn, but my town was on the outskirts of the outskirts. So public order wasn't our strong suit. The sheriff was known to shoot and kill criminals. The private investigator at my firm helped him with a few times. I didn't think it was good, but I wasn't all that opposed to it either. Well then, why the long face? Well, I'm back!
Oh, that was faster than I thought.
I don't see Pandiona around. Those two sometimes disappear without trace. I was lucky I ended up settling for a pay cut. I was lucky I ended up settling for a pay cut. I thought I'd be in my neck with this time, but not metaphorically either. Seriously.
Since you're back, how about you start by filling these out?
Why is there more paperwork than usual?
Because of you. Because of you. Even though it was ruled out accident, you did it on purpose, yes?
I did, but I didn't do it when you were there, like I promised, right?
Right, yet,
what is it this time? Did the chief give an earful? Sorry, I'll make it up to you with this weekend. How's that sound?
It's not that.
I thought we had finished discussion a while back. I didn't do that on whim. I'm okay dying on this hill. At least this won't cause that lot of you to any more harm. It's better than losing another colleague.
Thena. Nert was rather shocked by everything.
Right. I can understand that.
Detective Thena, you're back.
Note. But of course. What? You missed me? That was cringeworthy, wasn't it?
No, it's not that. I just had something I wanted to say to you.
Something to say? I think that no matter how many crimes a person commits, it's better not to kill them. I'm not as set in my beliefs as you are, detective. I just don't feel right being involved in the death of someone. So if we ever find ourselves in a situation like we did today, I'm going to do everything in my power to stop you. Okay. Understandable. Under normal circumstances. So, detective, you'll have to anticipate my interference and adapt appropriately if you wish to achieve your goal. What? You're only able to do what you did because you caught me off guard. But I'll be ready next time. It won't be easy.
Note, what are you getting at exactly?
Oh, I just wanted to tell you in advance to save us the argument later. I thought it'd be better to get it all out there.
It's not that, Note. I mean, you couldn't kill a person, could you?
I mean, I guess not.
And my killing a man doesn't disgust you on it. And my killing a man doesn't disgust you or anything.
I wouldn't say it disgusts me, it's just not good. After all, it's you we're talking about, Detective Athena. I just had this thought today, even after working with you all this whole month, I still know very little about you. That doesn't go for you either, Detective. It also goes to the extent of Sergeant refusals to touch people and Detective Brian's overwhelming kindness and passion for his job. I really had no idea. For some reason, that really frustrates me, but, so I thought why that might be. And I think that feeling comes from my liking all of you. That goes for you, Detective Athena, Detective Brian. And, well, you get it. I think I want to know more about y'all. I want to know more about me. You might be disappointed by what you find out, but you may even find it disagreeable, but I don't think I'm going anywhere. I like it here. I don't think I'm going anywhere. I like it here. That may have been crossing from honesty to simply saying too much. But it's good to hear.
Wait, hold up. Then, that glum look from before.
Right, that was me dwelling on this.
What? You had me all worried.
Dina, the gun. As per usual, you need to restrain yourself.
What's with you? Seriously. Note, you're way older than me. You're the first person to get to know me. And not say anything positive or negative about what I have to say. I'm thankful for that more than anything. However, I must apologize. There's one thing I have to take to my grave. My crimes, my betrayal. If I told you, things couldn't continue as they are. Still, because it's you, you may find out one day. Please, when you do. I hope you'll hold on into right values. No. Please, when you do. I hope you'll hold on to the right values when you judge me. Note, I thought you sort of reminded me of him, but I guess that's not right, huh? Look here. It's been a while. Why? Are you here? Are you here to kill me too?
Case 2. Pet Shop. End. And that was it for case 2. And that was it for case 2. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed. So thanks for joining. This was The Infected. I hope you guys enjoyed this time's stream. Next time we shall continue this or Resident Evil 4. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.